All right, Prime Minister Modi there he's in Paris right now. He's meeting the president, the newly elected French President Emmanuel Macron, and the meeting is taking place at the residence of the presidents of France. This is an extremely important leg of the Prime Minister's visit, the final leg of his visit. The two heads of state there posing for a photo op. After that, they will have a bilateral dialogue there as well. It's very important that India has made that effort to have an early engagement, early bilateral dialogue with the newly elected French president. France, a very important strategic partner of India, and of course, trade investments will be high on the Prime Minister's agenda as he sits down for that bilateral dialogue with the French president, the newly elected French president as well. Terror, we can confirm to you, has been figuring very prominently in the talks with all the world leaders that Prime Minister Modi has had, especially the issue of cross-border terror. He has emphasized on the need of not differentiating between terror groups.
And also significantly, Parikshit, if I recall correctly, this is also about the UNSC, because remember, India has been trying to, push for a lot of reforms when it comes to that big body. And that is the UN Security, Council reforms. This is a final leg as far as that significant visit is concerned. And we've seen the Prime Minister, Parikshit, actually making that pitch, that very important pitch when it comes to action against counter-terrorism. And Germany, Spain, Russia, we've seen the Prime Minister, sticking to that stand, and also significantly when it comes to climate change. Absolutely.
Climate change will figure in a prominent way. Remember, there are many admirers for the French president for saying that we need to make our planet great again. So he took a dig at Donald Trump when he said that. Let me go across to Niranjan, our editor, for the latest on that. Niranjan, the fact that US pulled out of the Paris deal is something that is going to figure in those talks between the French president and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
That's correct. Prime Minister Modi, who's arrived in Paris earlier today, he will hold bilateral talks with the newly elected French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, Parikshit, we know that France will be the final stop for the Prime Minister's 6-day tour. Now, he's also called, remember, it's very significant in the back of his visit to Russia. Comes a day after, he made a very strong statement in Russia saying that, he was addressing investors. You'll remember where he made a very strong statement on terror backers. Now, all the action in Kashmir since this morning comes a day after his strong message on terror backers. This also comes on the back of his statements in the run-up to this meeting with Emmanuel Macron, where he has spoken and he's even made a statement saying he's looking forward to meeting the President Macron and having discussions on issues of mutual interest. We all know about the different interests, between India and France, apart from the different business deals that may figure, is the fight against terror. France has been one of the biggest victims of terror, and so has India. And the Prime Minister is likely to raise the issue of terror very, very strongly, if not stronger, than the way he did at the Kyiv summit last evening. The two leaders will talk, of course, on countering terrorism, NSG membership bid, that's one issue that's being talked about, trade agreements, and the Paris climate deal. Of course, the Paris climate deal that you were talking about likely to feature. And, of course, it comes in the back of his visit to Russia, where he made a significant series of statements, both on the economic and the terror front. But the Prime Minister, in the official statement, Parikshit, like you've been saying, he's been speaking about, he has spoken about the different issues, including exchanging views with the French President on important global issues, spoke about the UN Security Council reforms, spoke about India's permanent membership of the UN Security Council, spoke about India's membership of various multilateral export control regimes, counter-terrorism cooperation, collaboration on climate change, and International Solar Alliance. And I think it's going to be significant as we look at how Prime Minister raises the issue of climate. He said, Paris or no Paris, our commitment to preserving the climate is for the sake of future generations. Now, that's a significant statement. Don't know whether we will take the US route, but certainly I think looking at the back of what's happening vis-a-vis the US and the climate deal, what the Prime Minister is significant. Looks like something big could come out in Paris.